Something leaps up from the book and enters a region completely exterior to it. And this, I believe, is the warrant for legitimately misunderstanding the whole of Nietzsche's work. An aphorism is an amalgam of forces that are always held apart from one another. An aphorism means nothing, signifies nothing, and is no more a signifier than a signified. Were it not so, the interiority of the text would remain undisturbed. An aphorism is a play of forces, the most recent of which, the latest, the newest, and provisionally the final force, is always the most exterior. Nietzsche puts this very clearly. If you want to know what I mean, then find the force that gives a new sense to what I say, and hang the text upon it. Following this approach, there is no problem of interpreting Nietzsche. There are only mechanical problems of plotting out his text, of trying to establish which exterior force actually enables the text to transmit, say, a current of energy. The state of experience is not subjective in origin, at least not inevitably so. Moreover, it is not individual. It is a continuous flux, and the disruption of flux, and each pulsional intensity necessarily bears a relation to another intensity, a point of contact and transmission. This is what underlies all codes, what escapes all codes, and it is what the codes themselves seek to translate, convert, and mint anew. In his own pulsional form of writing, Nietzsche tells us not to barter away intensity for mere representations. Intensity refers neither to the signifier, the represented word, nor to the signified, the represented thing. Pre-Socratics, Romans, Jews, Christ, Antichrist, Julius Caesar, Borgia, Zarathustra. Collective or individual, these proper names that come and go in Nietzsche's texts are neither signifiers nor signified. Rather, they are designations of intensity, inscribed upon a body that could be the earth or a book, but could also be the suffering body of Nietzsche himself. I am all the names of history. There is a kind of nomadism, a perpetual displacement of the intensities designated by proper names, intensities that interpenetrate one another at the same time that they are lived, experienced by a single body. Intensity can be experienced, then, only in connection with its mobile inscription in a body, and under the shifting exterior of a proper name, and therefore the proper name is always a mask that masks its agent. The aphorism has yet a third significant relation, in this case to humor and irony. Those who read Nietzsche without laughing often, richly, even hilariously, have, in a sense, not read Nietzsche at all. This is not only true for Nietzsche, but for all the other authors who belong to the same horizon of our counterculture. One of the things that reflect our decadence, our degeneration, is the manner in which people feel the need to express their anguish, solitude, guilt, to dramatize encounters. In short, the whole tragedy of interiority. Max Brod recounts how the audience went wild with laughter when Kafka read The Trial. In fact, it is hard to read even Beckett without laughing, without going from one moment of delight to the next. Laughter, and not meaning. Schizophrenic laughter or revolutionary joy, this is what emerged from the great books. Not the anguish of petty narcissism, the dread of guilt. We could call it a superhuman comedy, a divine jest. An indescribable delight always springs forth from the great books, even when they present things that are ugly, desperate, or terrifying. As it is, all great books bring about a transmutation. They give tomorrow's health. One cannot help but laugh when the codes are confounded. If you put thought into contact with the exterior, it assumes an air of freedom. It gives birth to Dionysian laughter. When, as often happens, Nietzsche finds himself confronted with something he feels is nauseating, ignoble, wretched, he laughs, and he wants to intensify it, if at all possible. He says, "A bit more effort, it's not disgusting enough." Or, on the other hand, it's astounding because it is disgusting. It's a marvel, a masterpiece, a poisonous flower. Finally, man begins to become interesting. This is how Nietzsche considers, how he deals with, what he calls bad conscience, for example. But the Hegelian commentators, the ever-present commentators of interiority, who don't even have the wit to laugh, tell us, "You see, Nietzsche takes bad conscience seriously. He makes it a moment in the evolution of spirit." Of course, they quickly pass over what Nietzsche makes out of this spirituality, because they sense the danger. If Nietzsche does admit of a legitimate misinterpretation, there are also completely illegitimate misinterpretations, all those that spring from the spirit of seriousness, the spirit of gravity. Zarathustra's ape. That is, the cult of interiority. For Nietzsche, laughter always refers to an exterior movement of irony and humor, a movement of intensities, of intensive qualities, as Kosofsky and Lyotard have pointed out. There is free play between the low and high intensities. A low intensity can undermine the highest, even become as high as the highest. An aphorism is a matter of laughter and joy. If we have not discovered what it is in the aphorism that makes us laugh, what the distribution of humor and irony is, what the division of intensities is, then we have not found anything.